This video is brought to you in part by HobbyLink Japan. If you're a fan of things like Super Sentai or just Japanese media in general, why don't you check out HobbyLink Japan? They've got figures, statues, and a whole horde of different kind of collectibles. Click the link down in the description below to check out HobbyLink Japan today. Hey there guys, welcome to Anthony Reviews, where Anthony reviews. It is that time of year again. It is time to take a look at the entire collection tour. We're talking DC, we're talking Marvel, we're talking Transformers, G.I. Joe, all sorts of fun stuff. I make this video every year just to kind of give an update on what my collection is like, because I collect for not only myself, but my girlfriend collects well, so you're going to see a mix of her stuff, my stuff, our stuff. It's a lot of fun, so because I like seeing other people's collections, I figured, let me share mine with you. One of the first shelves that we're going to take a look at is by the entryway here. This is mainly the Batman, but Batman in general, I suppose. This top shelf here features some Legos, mainly some DC multiverse figures from McFarlane. It's a lot of Batman. We got the 4K Blu-ray set back there. So, you know, the Batman, we were both really big fans of it, so that's why we have so much from it. We have the sort of Bruce Wayne figures. We've got the unmasked Bruce Wayne Batman head. Not the best likeness, but we also have some grifter Bruce Waynes on the bike and not on the bike, I guess. Below that, we do have some of the villains. We have the iconic Riddler from the film there, as well as the multiple Catwoman figures released. That middle one was an exclusive, and it's the only accurate look she has from the film. We also have the Penguin, of course. Then we also have some Batman and Robin figures. Now, these are pretty new. You know, these had just come out pretty recently, but, you know, Batman and Robin was such a big part of my childhood, so it's really cool to see them in highly articulated action figures. Then below that, we have Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy. Would love a Bane to go with them, but hey, these two are pretty cool to have. Moving on to the sort of living area here. In the living room, we have a huge bulk of the collection. Let's go ahead and take a look at the majority of the superhero-related figures. Up top, we have mainly DC Universe Classics and a Justice League representation. I won't go into each and every figure, of course, because that would mean we'd be here all day, but you know, you can kind of see that we have Justice League members that you generally think of. You know, the main heroes with some other heroes sprinkled in up top. I love DC Universe Classics. It's probably my favorite 6-inch line. It's a shame that we don't have a line like this now. You know, we have Multiverse. It's a little different, but I really hope someday we get another line like this one. Below that, we do feature the sort of Titans shelf. It's Titans, Teen Titans, and then some other DC characters just throughout time. You know, we have some sort of modern, I say modern in quotations, it's not exactly modern, but modern enough versions of a lot of these DC characters. But it's the Titans, the Teen Titans that you generally think about, you know. I did try to pair them in ways that made sense, but, you know, you take elements from animated films and comic books, and you try to make your collection look as cohesive as possible. Back there, we do have some various DC characters, and in the middle here, I'll try that again, I have my sort of new Teen Titans collection. And then some Rebirth characters as well. Then on a shelf below that, we have sort of character spotlights, I guess you could call it. We have the Bat Fam, mainly consisting of DC Universe Classics as well as Multiverse. That Robin there is a DC Icons, but I feel like it fits in pretty well, scale-wise. Then moving over, we do have the Lantern collection, you know, the sort of Blackest Night crew. Obviously a big Lantern fan, so it's nice to have that. And then moving over, once again, we have the Reign of the Superman, and the Return of Superman figures. I love these. Above that, we have some different versions of Superman to kind of go along with the Superman motif. When we have the sort of rounding out of the Lantern crew. And then, of course, other versions of Batman. Then we have the villain shelf. Villains are sort of split up in specific ways. We have sort of the miscellaneous, a little bit of Suicide Squad in there, just various DC villains. But, you know, the more you move over, we have the sort of a Legion of Doom. You know, your Lex, your Cheetahs, your Captain Colds, you know, a vague way you'd think of the Legion of Doom. And then, of course, next to that, we have the Batman villains. You know, Batman has the most iconic rogues gallery in superheroes, maybe rivaled by Spider-Man, but, you know, you're going to have a section of Batman villains. It's just how it works. And then we have a sort of dual collection shelf. We have Nightwing and Deathstroke. Deathstroke here, I'm a big fan of Slade Wilson, and I'm happy to have so many different versions of the character. It's got a lot of different things, video games, TV shows, you know, comic books. It's pretty cool. There's not a whole lot of Deathstroke out there, but I try to get what I can. Then, of course, we have the Nightwings, which vastly outnumber the amount of Deathstrokes that I have. They're just more Nightwing stuff out there. Cartoons, comics, you name it. But it is a nice sort of collection of various versions of Dick Grayson. Then below that, we have a miscellaneous shelf. You know, I collect a lot of DC stuff, so sometimes you don't really have a place for every little thing you have, and so you kind of just have a miscellaneous. You just have random things that you like, and they all just sort of mush together because you only have one or two from various things. And that's just what this is, just various lines, various, you know, styles all over the place. Then moving on to what I guess I would consider the crown jewel of my collection, which feels weird that we're doing it so early on in the video, but hey, you know, what are you gonna do? This is my Hal Jordan Green Lantern collection. So for those of you who may not know, Hal Jordan is my favorite fictional character. I love Green Lantern, so because of that, being a toy collector and everything, I collect Hal Jordan. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I have everything or that my goal is to even own everything. I don't know if that's necessarily possible, but I'm very, very happy with what I do have here. You know, it's a lot of different versions throughout the many, many years of Green Lantern toys, so I'm at least happy with what I have, I will say that. I've been, you know, collecting Green Lantern stuff for over a decade now, so it's been quite a journey to sort of get to where I am now, and I guess my hope is that this time next year, it's even bigger, so who knows. I do have a lot, I can say that. I do feel like I have a lot. Below that, we have the Harley Quinn section. Harley Quinn is my girlfriend's favorite sort of Batman villain, and so we have a huge selection here. Mainly classic. You know, she's not a huge fan of modern Harley Quinn, so you won't see a lot of Rebirth, you won't see a lot of the movie stuff. It's mainly classic, you know, red and black Harley Quinn, which, hey, I'm a huge fan of too, so I'm happy that we can sort of agree on what the Harley Quinn collection should be. Then below that, starting off the Marvel stuff, I have a Thanos collection. Thanos is one of, if not my favorite Marvel villain. So it's great to sort of have a recent sort of resurgence of Thanos stuff thanks to the movies and everything. So a lot of Marvel Legends here, you know, a lot of similar looking things, but either way, I'm happy to have a sort of compact Thanos collection. I don't know exactly what I would want if they were making, you know, new stuff, but what I have, I'm pretty happy with. Then the top shelf of the shelf here is sort of Marvel Legends X-Men related, mainly geared towards the animated series. Like, the Storm is actually the new animated body with the older head on top. I'm not going to say that, like, the shelf is meant to replicate one-to-one what the animated series looks like, but I'll just say that if the animated series has it, like X-Factor here, it will influence what this shelf looks like. You know, the 90s are just such a huge, influential time for X-Men. There was so much going on. They were at the height of their popularity. It's just nice to sort of represent that in a way. You know, it's one of the very few eras where the 90s were nice to a brand, right? Is X-Men. And I'm not just talking about comics, I'm talking about everything. You know, X-Men Fever was real. And so I'm sort of happy to have it represented on my shelf. Just various mutants across the board. I do really like that animated Apocalypse. I think he looks great. Then we have, I guess, the rest of the Marvel Universe, I guess is the nicest way to put it. Some really sort of like Avengers characters, street level, adjacent, up in the back there, you know, we kind of have like secret agent, sort of espionage stuff, I guess. But, you know, up front you have what you think of the Marvel Universe, especially today. So like the Avengers, Spider-Man hanging out there, you know, it's just sort of your standard attempt at representing the Marvel Universe in a kindly fashion. Got the Fantastic Four included. I love that sort of grouping of the Fantastic Four. Don't know if it'll ever be beat. And then, of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Then we have Spider-Man and villains. A lot of this is Spider-Man villains specifically, but we'll see some regular villains here in a moment. Whole bunch of stuff. I mean, Spider-Man, like I mentioned earlier, probably the only comic book character to truly rival in terms of rogues galleries. You know, who has the best? I don't know. But Spider-Man's got a lot of fun, creative-looking guys. Up top, you'll see some classic sort of villains, Doctor Doom, people like that. And then you sort of come back down here, more Spider stuff, and then my own little Spider-Verse, I guess you would call it. I used to have a lot more, but I've sort of, you know, trimmed it down just a bit, but I'm still happy with the Spider representation that I've got. And then, as you can see there's more villains up on the top. Then we have a sort of another character spotlight. We have Captain America. It is sort of a dream of mine to have every Steve Rogers Marvel Legends figure there is. And, you know, I feel like I'm doing a fairly decent job. I don't say that I have all of them. I know that I don't have all of them. However, I feel like I've done a pretty good job at getting most of them at this point. You know, there's a couple of old Toy Biz stuff. There's, you know, technicalities, things where it's like, well, that is Steve Rogers, but, you know, but what I have here, I'm fairly happy with. I would say that I have a pretty sizable Marvel Legends Captain America display, to the point where if they do release more, I don't really know where they're going to go, so that's a little bit of a daunting aspect of it. Then below that, we have a sort of Bucky Nat shelf. My girlfriend Ray is a big fan of Bucky Nat, so we've got a lot of movie stuff here and there, and then of course some comic book stuff. It's a pretty nice sort of mixture of various things for the Winter Soldier and Black Widow. The movie really did help in terms of boosting out more Black Widow things, so that's good. We have right there that new Marvel Legends Black Widow, which is why there's two of them. Fantastic figure. Such a great figure. Almost made my top 10 of last year. And then you can just see just various villains and characters that are all Bucky Nat related. She's a fan. What can I say? Then below that, we have the end of the Marvel shelf, and that is the Wolverine collection. Once again, my girlfriend, she's a big fan of Wolverine. She's a big fan of Laura Kinney, really, but she likes Logan too. And obviously, they're going to release way more Logan stuff than they are of any of his kids, you know? So, luckily, she is a fan of Logan, and he's got a lot of good figures, a lot of cool designs, you know? He's the kind of guy where he has enough designs that they'll make every design, and then by the time they finish, they'll make better versions of all those characters again. So, she's just going to keep buying Wolverine stuff. Here we have the media center, nothing too special, but I figured I'd show you. Here we have some just various knickknacks just on the side, and then we have the sort of DC Multiverse from McFarlane Toys, the movie 6-pack. So we have the 90s Batman here. Really great to have a Val Kilmer Batman. That's really cool. And then on the other side, past the Bat Signal, we have, I guess, the 2000s versions of them. So we've got, you know, the rest. Very cool to have this. And some Mario Kart toys. Below that, you'll see some Nintendo Switch games, as well as some Blu-rays. The ones on the shelves here are all superhero related, which feels fitting for the space. You know what I mean? And then over here, more Nintendo Switch games. Below that, we have sort of the Xbox and some other knickknacks. Open this up, and you'll see that we have some DVDs. Mostly my girlfriend's DVDs. And then on the other side, we do have Blu-rays. Nothing too special, not a whole lot. A modest, simple collection. And then we have the Jakks-specific Super Mario Bros. Movie figures. Love these figures. I thought the movie was a ton of fun, and so it's great to have some fun toys to sort of reflect that movie. And then just a Samus Aran amiibo, as well as the Emmy robot from Metroid Dread. Below that, we have some just various items here and there. We've got Link and Zelda from Breath of the Wild, and then you can see some anime DVDs, and then some Bleach memorabilia, I guess. My girlfriend's a big fan of Bleach. Here we have the doll collection. I guess, no need to assume, it's however, but this is my girlfriend's collection. Here are some Bratz. I know nothing about these things. I know a couple of them are named Jade, but that's pretty much where my knowledge stops. She's a big fan of these dolls. It's something I guess she had as a kid, so she has a lot of nostalgia for them, and they started re-releasing them and doing all sorts of stuff. So here they are. It's her Bratz collection. She also has this Disney doll. The Disney dolls are like dolls that have like clothing that are specific Disney brands. Kind of neat. And then we have her Monster High dolls, which, as you can see, she clearly has a favorite in Draculaura. Fun designs. I like the colors. I think they come with a lot of cool accessories. So ultimately, they're pretty neat. I think it's a cool collection, even though I don't have any connection to it personally. Below that, she does have some more Draculauras in these sort of locker coffin things. Let's see if this stays open. And not really. But like I said, just more Draculaura stuff, I guess. Over here, we just have a bunch of comic books. All those boxes are filled with comics, and then we've got some plushies hanging out on top. And then here we sort of have a stack of comics that we need to read at some point, just various trades. Here we have the star of Batman and Robin, George Clooney. This was actually a gift from my brother for Christmas, so we put him over here hanging out with the ladies. Classic Clooney. Here's her sort of end table by where she sits on the couch. We've got a Tarn, because she likes Tarn. And then just a little dinosaur trinkets, I don't know. We've got some Sword in the Stone plushies, as well as some Velociraptors. And then on the back side, we have a Master Chief, as well as, if you look down there, some more plushies and an expensive backpack. That's where we put it, on the ground. Alright, let's take a look over at the Transformers collection. Once again, this is something that both my girlfriend and I collect, but for Starscream specifically, yeah, that's all me. Starscream is my favorite Transformer. He's my guy. I've been collecting Starscream stuff since 2009, I want to say, so 15 years? Oh my goodness, I've been collecting Starscreams for 15 years now. That's insane. So here's my collection. I love the guy. He comes in, I was going to say a lot of shapes and sizes, very similar shapes and sizes, but different sometimes, I will say. So, if they release more Starscreams, which I know they will, he's one of those characters where if there's a new line, there's going to be a new Starscream out. So, I don't know where they're going to go. We're practically at full capacity now, so I'm a little nervous if they release anything too big or weird. But for what I have, I'm very, very happy with the collection. Then below that, we have a Shattered Glass Shelf. This is all my girlfriend. She's a big fan of Ratchet, so when they released Ratchet first, she bought that. Then the Blur looked good, and, well, here we are. We have a complete Shattered Glass sort of collection here from Hasbro. Actually, I didn't know this until recently, but they're essentially putting this on pause just because Skybound is sort of establishing their new comic book universe and they don't want to step on their toes. So, for now at least, this is a complete modern Shattered Glass collection. Right under that, we have another one of her shelves. I mentioned earlier she's a big fan of Ratchet, so we have a Ratchet and Megatron collection. So here's a lot of her Ratchets. A lot of it is modern, but that's just only because she's been collecting for the past 3 or 4 years or so, I want to say. So she has a nice little section of Ratchet figures, which I enjoy, you know? Although that guy isn't Ratchet. Next to that, we do have a selection of Megatrons, because Megatron is her favorite. And it is kind of interesting, because once again, Megatron is a guy where every toy line, he's going to be in it, practically. So, you know, these are all fairly modern figures, ultimately, within the last couple of years, but just that alone, she's managed to get quite a few different Megatrons, which is pretty impressive. It's kind of cool. And let's go back to something that I collect, and that is Optimus Primal. Pretty much because of Rise of the Beasts and a little influenced by Hasbro themselves, I started collecting Optimus Primal figures. I've always liked Primal, but this year is when I really went over the edge, I would say. You know, they sent me a box of stuff that included quite a few Primals for free, and that almost like tricked me into then spending more money than I ever intended to on this damn monkey. So that's good. Thanks, Hasbro. You tricked me. You got me. Here I am. Below that, we have a Dinobot section. My girlfriend is a big fan of dinosaurs, so we have the Studio Series Dinobots here. We also have that new Earthspark Grimlock that we saw in the store, so she picked that up. We have the Core Class Dinobot guys combined, and then we have the other Studio Series figures. We just need Swoop. That's all we need. Over here, we have a bit more of a random selection of figures. Just sort of, like I said, random stuff. Nothing too crazy. Just guys that there's a little bit of a rhyme or reason, you know? If you look closely, you might notice some patterns here and there, but these guys I just purchased. They didn't fit anywhere else on the shelves, and so that's where they go. But like I said, there's like a little bit of a Wreckers thing, a little bit of a Lost Light crew, but then you just get like RID Scourge just in the back there, because why not? But, you know, you'll notice a couple of medical-related characters. That's all Ray. Yeah. Good stuff. It's just sort of the miscellaneous, like I had on the other DC shelf. Alright, going into, I guess, the main bulk of the collection, and that's the Autobot Decepticon shelf. So let's take a look at the Autobots first. We've got these sort of mini-bots here, which are pretty cool. I can't wait to get more of those. We've got just various Autobots, really. That's all it really is. Like, it's just a slew of characters. Some are from the G1 cartoon, some are not. It's just however I feel I want the main Autobot crew to look like. Did I say Autobot? Thinking of sausages. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. There's a lot of like definitive takes on characters in this lineup, which I'm happy with. And then, of course, to coincide with the Autobots, we do have the Decepticons. So the Decepticons, I feel like, have a lot less iconic characters. Like, they still have icons. We have the Seekers here. You know, we've got Shockwave, Soundwave, and we've got a bunch of stuff. But, like, you know, there's some other characters where it's like, I don't know if they're iconic, but they're going on the shelf. So that's how I kind of am with, like, Skytread or Quake. They look good. I like them for what they are. We got the Pretenders up front. They still look nice. We have a bit of a gamer sort of shelf here. I was a big fan of the War for Cybertron games back in the day, so having these new figures here is pretty nice. I do like them. And then we also have the Decepticons to go with them. Below that, we have sort of a fossilizer shelf, or like a dinosaur shelf, if you will. I believe this is all the fossilizers. I believe this is a complete collection. And then just other dinosaurs that have just been thrown in there as well. You can guess who this belongs to. Then we enter the Beast Wars. We've got the Maximals here. Pretty much a complete collection. I can imagine getting one or two more guys in here, but overall, I'm pretty happy with how this looks. You know, part of the appeal of something like Beast Wars is that cartoon, there's not a whole lot of characters, you know? So the characters here mean a lot because they had stuff to do, which is cool. And of course, if you're going to have Maximals, you got to have Predacons. Predacons, once again, I'm pretty sure I'm done with. Like, this is about as good as it's going to get, and I'm happy with that. Like, this shelf is pretty packed as it is. I can't imagine stuffing too many more people in here, but together, they all look really nice. Then over next to it, just a Jurassic Park Jeep. It's a Transformer, but he just had nowhere else to go, so we just parked him there. Then we have the 1986 movie crew. Love the 1986 movie. It's really, really fun. So we got all these little guys, and it's a good set. I don't know if I'll ever add more to this. You know, there's a few things I could, but I don't know if I will. Love that Magnus. But it's a good looking shelf as is. And then of course we got the Decepticons. A little outnumbered by the Autobots, but you know, what are you gonna do? Let's take a look at our workspaces, since my girlfriend, you know, we both work from home. So we have our desks here with several little figures and knickknacks and whatnot. We sort of have an impromptu import shelf, as it were, just because I had nowhere else to get these, and they're kind of new. So there they are. That's where they live. And then, like I mentioned, it's just sort of various figures and little things that can just look nice on my desk. They don't have anywhere else to go, so they go here. That's all it really is. Now, comparing that to my girlfriend's desk, you would think, well, she must be the main collector in this relationship, and nope, I guess she just has way more to have on her desk. More unique sort of items. We've got some sort of couples things going on in this one here, as you can see. Yeah, sure. And then just various little things. We've got an army of blueies here. That's some bad luck draws on some blind bags. Yeah, just various things that she likes or enjoys. Anytime I get a G.I. Joe Classified that comes with an animal, it usually goes to her. Little framed photo here. So yeah, you know, it's just stuff that she likes. Stop all the downloading. Mind you, got some Sleeping Beauty stuff. We're both big fans of Sleeping Beauty, but I guess it goes on her desk. And then this is, I guess, like 80s? Or 80s adjacent, you know? Although that Pikachu is an 80s, so I don't know what that's doing there. And then I don't even know what's going on over here. It's just a clutter of stuff. It's a lightsaber? Okay. Let's take a look at the kitchen, shall we? Because we even have toys in the kitchen. Now, I know what you must be thinking, like, what are you doing in the kitchen? That's going to be messy. If you clean your toys properly, there won't be any problems. That's all I'll say. We got some signed Blu-rays here. Various conventions I've gone to. There's Flick. Remember Flick? You know, just sort of big, bulky items that are hard to put on a shelf because they need a lot of headroom. That's kind of what's going on here, I would say. Oh, and of course, Big Henry. You can't have a collection like this without Big Henry. And then here we just have some sort of various, like I said, bigger items, just out-of-the-way items. I try to sort of make it look like a toy store. I guess that's kind of the vibe that I go for with this sort of shelf, is compact and busy and sort of stylized. This guy loves Oreos. Got the Immortal Red Fox standing next to Voltron. Kind of neat. We got the Spider-Man. We got the Cinematic Spider-Man. Pretty cool. Kind of new. And, yeah, just ignore her. That's fine. What do we got going on back here? We got some Batman stuff. We got a Mattel Riddler. Okay. And then over here is a bunch of retro Power Rangers stuff. So all of this is like original 1993 stuff, which is cool. I don't have a whole lot of retro things, so to have some Power Ranger stuff that's uniquely and legitimately old school is rather fun. I'm pretty happy with it, I will say. And then some Zeo Rangers in front of the Dino Charge Megazord? That doesn't make any sense. We got a Megaforce Morpher. And then Devastator, because he's too damn big to go anywhere else, so he goes there. And then just random little knickknacks, I guess. We got Chris O'Donnell Robin up there with a pudgy pig I found at Ross. Big old dinosaur. Once again, it's just that toy store feel that I wanted to replicate in a way. This isn't a toy, but I figured I'd show it off. It's Sonic. Found that at Ross. And then, yeah, just some more little doodads and little things. McDonald's, Scooby-Doo figures. Never got Fred, which is a shame. Spider-Man and Superman. And then some NASCAR stuff that I think's from my girlfriend's childhood. I don't know anything about it. We have this Marvel Universe 2-pack that I've had for several years, which is kind of wild. Just have that there, and then we have a McDonald's Adam Warlock, okay. And this McFarlane Green Lantern, which I've kept in its packaging, because why not? Here in this tiny little hallway, we've got some more stuff, mainly Batman and Superman. Batman and Superman, you know, they go hand in hand. I don't really have a favorite out of the two. I would say one week it's one, and then the next another, so I try to keep them pretty even. Here's a nice collection of Superman figures, you know, Superman through the ages, through the toy lines. And then the DC icons Doomsday and Superman. I had to display Superman like that just because it's a figure with closed eyes. How often does that happen? And then below that, we do have a grouping of Batman to sort of mirror the Superman up above. Then we have The Dark Knight Rises, Batman and Bane. Let's check out the bedroom, shall we? Because we have even more toys in here. All over the walls. All sorts of good stuff. Here we have the Hot Toys Infinity War Winter Soldier, as well as the Endgame Black Widow. You can kind of imagine who these belong to, but they look really nice. I think they're cool. Above that, we have an in-box Invincible Monster Girl 2-pack. Now, this should go with the others, which you'll see in a second, but it's too big to have a hook on, so we can't hang it up on the wall. Oops. Oh well. Then up here, we have some just various things. We have the Super 7 Ultimates Alice in Wonderland figures, because she's a big fan of that, as well as an Edward Cullen Barbie. And then, you know, like I said, just other stuff like Arkham Batman and the Iron Giant. Here we have all of the Diamond Select Invincible figures in box. This is another thing that my girlfriend's a big fan of, so for one reason or another, we decided to keep them all in box, and here they are. I think they look good. They have a nice big open window, and they look good together. It's a shame that we can't have it displayed next to the Monster Girl, but hey, it's close enough. Here we have more Invincible figures. These were the original ones that were done by McFarlane, I believe. But we've got sort of variants where it's like their suits and then bloodied versions of their suits. Over here we've got some retro carded stuff. We've got Black Widow and Captain America, two of our favorite Marvel characters. And then we have these DC ones of Harley Quinn and Mr. Freeze because, you know, it's our favorite Batman villains. Below that I just have this reaction Starscream. Looks good. And then a big, cheap Halloween Captain America shield, I guess. Let's look at some dinosaurs. I established earlier my girlfriend is a big fan of dinosaurs, so here is a bunch of her Jurassic Park stuff. Bunch of Funko Pops. You know, when Fallen Kingdom had come out, they really went all in on releasing Jurassic Park stuff. So that's pretty much where she got all of this. And, I mean, it looks good. It's good. It's good stuff. She got that Steven Spielberg set, which is pretty cool. And then just various other dinosaur things. Like Transformers right there. Below that, we sort of have a Jurassic Park specific shelf with iconic characters, and as you can see, iconic vehicles as well. So you've got different pieces of cool toys things. We got little Timmy on here. Just going, yippee! And then there's some more characters, such as Wayne Knight from Space Jam. And then there's more stuff back there. Here we have a very Jurassic Park specific shelf, so there's no world stuff on here. It's all Jurassic Park. So the dinos here are very specific to the original trilogy, I guess you would call it. Which I think is cool. You know, it's fun to kind of distinct you know, have those sort of features there. And they all look nice. I don't know if she'd be able to fit any more than what she has on there now, though. Then we have, I guess, iconic moments. We have this sort of exclusive set here with Henry Wu, I believe. Ignore that. Some more Raptors up top. We've got the original Spino that was like exclusive and hard to find. And then we've got, what's this guy's name? Muldoon or something? That's not him. That's a different guy, right? Some other people. They don't care about Julian more. And then here's just more of a hodgepodge, some world stuff, you know, some different kind of dinosaur toys that she liked. She didn't want to sort of not keep them because there was a bit of a purge at one point. But these she did hang on to because she thought they looked like cool dinosaur toys. And then some world stuff, you know, undeniably world. And then this fellow. That looks a bit suggestive. And then I guess at the bottom is kind of like the main bad guy shelf. So you got like the Indoraptor and the T-Rex, and I like the Indominus Rex. I think as a toy, this thing looks super wicked. Just so cool. And then Spino looks like he's riding Mosey. Okay. Let's take a look at my desk where I'm actually recording this audio right now. We've got Doc Ock. Recently got him, so he just sits there. We got Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. You can see we've got some like Nintendo stuff going on. We've got some Mario villains. I'd like a Wario, you know, that would be nice. And then some Samus and Chell figures and things here. We got the main Mario crew. They look happy to be here. And then up top we've got the Sonic collection. Mainly the sort of 2.5-inch size, but with some other stuff mixed in. So you got like the classic people right there, which, you know, sort of bleeds into the back. And then you sort of have the modern crew. A little bit of a Sonic 06 grouping there. And then we got Rouge up with Omega. And then some more stuff up top. We're going to take a little bit of a dip down, see some miscellaneous things that I have on my desk. Got some Sonic, and then we got Star-Lord. Big fan of Chris Pratt's Star-Lord. Some more stuff over here, and some Green Goblin action. Then above my desk, I do have quite a bit of carded figures. You know, it's just stuff that I don't really collect carded, but it's just things that I thought looked good on card, as you can see here. You know, not a specific rhyme or reason, I would argue, but it's like, why take them out? What difference would it make to take them out of the box? They're as good as they're gonna get in box right now. So that's why I have them like this. Got a vintage collection stuff, pretty cool. Got a Daredevil signed by Charlie Cox, which I'm pretty happy with. Wonder if he knows that's Man-Thing in there. Got a Arkham City Harley Quinn signed by Tara Strong. Should check out my video on Batman Legacy, by the way. And then a Raven figure also signed by Tara Strong, which I guess maybe that hasn't aged quite so well. Got Sheamus, my first ever wrestling figure I ever purchased. Another vintage collection figure, which is like reference to one I had as a kid. I had that sort of Poncho Anakin. And then Mr. Freeze. Let's take a look at Power Rangers. We got a whole lot of Power Ranger stuff to look at. And obviously, the top shelf is going to be all Mighty Morphin themed. So like we got Alpha, and then we got like the whole Mighty Morphin crew, which is all the remastered figures from last year, except for White. They didn't do a White, but everyone else is part of that remastered line. We got the Dragon Shield Bros, some Funko Pops. And then we have the sort of unmasked Rangers with the Morpher behind him. Oh, and there's another Morpher. Let's just start going down the ranks. I try to keep it as concise and in order as possible. So we have the Alien Rangers here, hanging out with some villains, mainly Mighty Morphin villains, all behind him. I say mainly, it just is. A Zeo, of course, stronger than before. I love the way the Zeo figures look. Got that great Rita Repulsa from 2023. Love her. And then I guess the very small amount of Turbo figures that we have, with once again more villains. Here we have some more Rangers. Of course, we're going to start with In Space. Love the way the In Space Rangers look. You can see Astronema back there. Very cool, as well as that Andros. We've got the Lost Galaxy crew, sort of a nice sequel to In Space. In yellow, you know, didn't come with a proper Quasar Saber. Oh well. There's the Psycho Rangers, since they're both kind of In Space and Lost Galaxy themed. And then just sort of randos who never got their teams completed. We got some more down here, starting with Dino Thunder. Dino Thunder, a wonderful sort of team. Looking good, looking great. Love all that stuff. We got Mesogog back there. And then we got SPD, one of my all-time favorite seasons. Very happy that we're able to complete SPD. I guess you could argue there's some other Rangers we could add, but for the most part, especially with A-Squad there, we're looking pretty good. And then, of course, Dino Charge, arguably the best of the Neo Saban era. You know, technically not complete, but complete enough. And then to sort of end off the Lightning Collection section, we have Beast Morphers here, looking good. We could have used a silver, but oh well. We do have some basic Beast Morphers figures back when Beast Morphers first came out. And then RPM Yellow, which, like, if you get it, you know. We got Steelbot, awesome, love him. And then some Dino Fury figures as well. And some more Beast Morphers with the Morpher itself. I guess you would call this a sort of Bandai collection. Just various Japanese things. So we've got like some Kirby's. We've got some sort of Tokusatsu, Power Rangers, Sentai kind of stuff mixed with Yu-Gi-Oh! Big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've got the sort of Super Megaforce Morpher right there with some keys. Got some Gohan representation. And Gundam Seed. And then, yeah, just more Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. Up here is the start of the G.I. Joe collection. So we have the HasLab Sky Striker with a collection of sort of 3 3/4 inch figures. Love that Sky Striker. Some of the figures are still on card just because I have no need to open them, I guess. And then so there's some Super 7 figures as well. Below that, we have the Cobra Commander shelf. You know, if I'm a Starscream fan, it's a very good chance I'm a Cobra Commander fan. So, yeah, here's a lot of good Cobra Commander stuff, whether it's Hasbro or Super 7 or whatever, it's all there. Hello? We got the on-card from the HasLab Hiss Tank, the Mickey Mouse version, and then the sort of brighter colors classified one. And then just here's a slew of 3 3/4 inch Cobra Commanders, which, you know, there's some. It's not all. It's definitely not all of them, but here's an O-Ring Cobra Commander that came out recently, and then that Ultimate Super 7 Cobra Commander. Pretty neat. Below that, you know, if I'm a Cobra Commander guy, it's likely I'll prefer Cobra in general, so Cobra takes the shelf over the G.I. Joes themselves, which is, I mean, there's just a bunch of fun, cool characters. We got the Alley Vipers back there. Love, love, love them. It's just fun. You get a lot of fun things. I feel like sometimes with bad guys, they're drab, they're dreary, they're kind of boring, but here, they're pretty colorful. In some cases, more colorful than the heroes, which is kind of cool. Okay, now we finally get to the Joes themselves, and I mean, there's tons of good stuff here too. G.I. Joe is just one of those things where I don't even know everything about it, but I enjoy what there is. It makes me excited to sort of check out all of the stuff that they have to offer, because there's some characters that I really like, you know? Spirit is one of those characters, Snowjob is one of those characters, but, like, I still want to check out all they have to offer, because there's just so many cool-looking characters and toys, and yeah, it makes me feel adventurous. Because there's so many lines where I would just collect the guys that I like and I know, and that's it. But here, I've got quite a few characters in there that I know nothing about. But I'm happy to have them because they're cool toys. Yeah, just look at them there. They're great. Then below that we have the Hiss Tank, and I mean, honestly, I'm not too pleased with how this came out. No, not the Hiss Tank. The Hiss Tank itself is great, but like, look at all these guys just crammed back there. Like, that's not cool. It'll have to do for now, sadly, but I mean, I would like to do it better. You know, better justice. I want to do it some justice here, but the figures look great. The Hiss Tank looks great. I'm happy with it. I wasn't prepared, I guess. Then down here, we have sort of a miscellaneous, I guess, just various classified figures like the Snake Eyes movie figures. Got them there. Fun figures for what they are. We've got some bats. Gotta have some bats, I guess. Some more Joes up here. Love that Zorana. She's great. She's just a bunch of cool stuff. We've got some Vipers back there as well. And then just some various Joes that I have just sort of stashed here. Because why not? Why not? I can't help but buy G.I. Joes. The bottom shelf here might have to go at some point, but I like it. You know, the G.I. Joe starts with 3 3/4 inch, at least Real American Hero does. So I like that I had this little diorama action set piece. You know, it's very unlike the rest of my collection because it's smaller and you can make it fit, but I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts. Over here, we do have some carded Ninja Turtles. I think these are like from 2014 or so, or maybe older. But they're weird because they have like the Nickelodeon logo. But over here, we also have some My Hero figures just in box, because why not? And the last stop on our little trip here is into the closet with these figures here. So yeah, we even got toys in our closet, just shoved all the way back here. I know. Let's start with Star Wars. Up top, very similar to the G.I. Joe, I have a nice collection of 3 3/4 inch, because, you know, it's in my head, like, that's where Star Wars started. You know, that's where it is, that's where it belongs, but I'm a 6-inch collector, so I'm going to collect 6-inch. But here, just some miscellaneous weirdos and cool guys and badasses and losers, and, you know, that's the kind of the point of the collection, is to be a variety pack. And then, yeah, just some various other Star Wars-y things, because, you know, despite what I may think sometimes, I do like Star Wars. Here we have the sort of original trilogy and prequel trilogy section. So we've got the, you know, prequels here. Nice selection of characters. I mean, it's just Anakin and Obi-Wan over again, but got the villains up top, which is pretty cool. And then, you know, we've got Darth Vader, because, I don't know, I mean, Darth Vader's kind of an important piece, I would say. And then some original trilogy stuff over here, which obviously looks much more sparse, but it's like, if I buy the full team for every movie, it's gonna get packed. Here we have the animation section, I guess you could call it. We've got a lot of Clone Wars stuff. I'm a big fan of Clone Wars, both the Genndy Clone Wars and the Filoni Clone Wars. So here it is. There's a Cad Bane back there, but you can't see him. But yeah, just various troopers and stuff like that. We got the Bad Batch, of course. Love the Bad Batch. That's the new Omega head on the old Omega body. Looks pretty good. And then we have sort of the Rebels section. We've also got Cal Kestis from that video game. And then, as you can see right back there, we got Thrawn Scheming. But it's a good looking group of figures. Then below that, I guess I call this the Disney shelf, even though obviously Rebels and Bad Batch is Disney. But yeah, here's like the movies and the live action stuff that's Disney related. I don't even say I really like all of this, but I guess I wanted representation on the shelf. You know, I've kind of fallen off Mandalorian, but hey, you know, I like that first season, and I like The Force Awakens, so, you know, I like the Kylo Ren-Rey relationship. Here's another sort of just miscellaneous shelf, just little figurines or things that my girlfriend and I have kept over the years, or recently purchased, or whatever. And then some Halo stuff, because she is a fan of Halo, so we got that going. Here's just some other stuff on the bottom shelf. I'm not even going to zoom in. You can kind of see what's all there. And then over here, we've got some Sonic 2 stuff. We've got the Death Egg robot from Jakks Pacific. And then we also have the Sonic 2 toys. So we've got some various versions of Sonic. We've got this little pack of various Sonic figures. A whole bunch of stuff. You know, for whatever reason, I don't even really know why, I went all in on Sonic 2. So that's where I ended up. I don't know what happened. It's kind of an accident, I guess. A very expensive accident. Here's all the Sonic 2 figures in box over here. Looks good. Below that, we do have the wrestling figure section. Big fan of Kurt Angle. I think he's the complete package. Love what he does. Really, really cool. That's why I've got a bunch of Kurt Angles. And then everywhere else is just sort of a mix and match of AEW and WWE figures. I don't feel like I collect a whole lot of wrestling figures anymore. So this is a time in my life. I still watch wrestling, but figure collecting, not so much. Here we have the Motu Origin section. I'm not going to pretend to be a huge He-Man guy, but like, I do like He-Man. I like the figures. I think they're fun. I think they're colorful. I think they're the definition of toyetic. So to have new He-Man figures like this, I think is really, really great. I think they all look good. So having a shelf of it is nice. Will I get more? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And then, once again, just a bottom shelf of various things. Here we have the DC Multiverse shelf. All these McFarlane figures. You know, we've got some Justice League stuff with the Bat Fam behind them. Got Booster, Blue Beetle. Once again, just some Justice League figures. They're nice figures. I wish they were 6-inch, but they're nice, I guess, for what they are. And then some bad guys, some Legion of Doom members back there. Then we've got some more down here. We've got the Blackest Night collection. So we've got some Black Lanterns and some other lanterns, Atrocitus. We've got Necron back there, the Megafig Necron, very cool. Got Jay Garrick and Alan Scott. And then, you know, can't forget Sinestro, of course. Got Peacemaker with the Starro, kind of a Suicide Squad shout out. And we've got some Superman related stuff, some modern Superman stuff. Below that, it's all Batman, baby. DC Multiverse is Batman's time to shine, so we've got tons of various Batman stuff. Got a Beyond back there that like you can't even see, it's so dark. We got some villains, of course, and just various versions of Batman. Just whatever I could get that I liked. That's really what it boils down to, is whatever I like. And then we have some Superpowers figures from McFarlane Toys as well. These are pretty nice. I think they're fun. They're simple. I like them for what they are. Peacemaker 3-pack. Check out the review for that on my channel. We have some plushies. Tons of various plushies. Got Storm there. It's the old body with the new head. Yeah, I mean, there's Nintendo stuff. There's some Disney stuff. There's some superhero stuff. It's just various kind of plushes and whatnot. No real rhyme or reason. It's just stuff we like. Those Care Bears belong to my mom, which is why I have them. Pooh Bear, Rosie O'Donnell, you know, the works. And then, you know, we got some Turtles, because where else are they going to go? So we got the 03 Turtles that just re-released. Really like those. Very happy with them. Then we got the Rise of Turtles, as well as the Mutant Mayhem Turtles. And then a Batwing, because where else is that going to go, right? And with that, guys, that's the collection. That's all I've really got. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, I love looking at people's collection videos, so I felt that, you know, people should enjoy looking at my stuff, because I've got a huge slew of stuff that, you know, I have fun collecting. So I figured I'd share it with you, the people. But thank you all so much for watching this. Feel free to let me know what are some of your favorite pieces of the collection down in the comments below. You can check out some of my other videos, like the video, subscribe for future videos. My socials are also linked down in the description. And, you know, I guess that's really all it. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.